So it's been about a hot minute since the last time I made one of these first wave reaction videos. But before move on, I'd like to introduce my guest starring commentator. His name is Brayan Checo. Please say hello.
Oh, hi. Um, Thank you, Eve, for having me today here. I hope everyone enjoys this wonderful video.
Yes, yes, yes. So this is actually the very first time I've ever spoken with Chekhov. Or Checo? Chekhov? Checo? Checo? So I say the B at
Yes.
the end?
Okay.
You can tell
Yes.
many times I've spoken with him because I actually don't know how to pronounce his name properly. So we actually started talking with each other about a half hour ago, and I was like, "Hey, my regular crew is not available because it's like the day before Christmas or 2022. How would you like to come on?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So here we are. So, anyways, I'd like to quickly recap why it is I didn't say anything whatsoever about Avatar of Sentai Dawn Brothers. I want to say Dan Brothers, so please forgive me if I slip into that, although I think I've already made that excuse before. But anyways, when when Dawn Brothers was introduced around this time last year, we had the announcement that the what was it called? The Dawn Zenkaio was going to be the first regular, or was going to be the first wave robo for Dawn Brothers, and I just really wasn't happy with the motorcycle. The way that the motorcycle looked, the way the motorcycle transformed, and then when it combined into Dawn Zenkaio, I wasn't really thrilled with that either because you know me and parts formers, and like yeah, some of the parts transform, and the why the heck do the exhaust nozzles on the thing move around? So like, I really wasn't happy with that. Just no. So I wasn't really encouraged by that. The costumes, you know me, I don't really comment on the costumes, so there wasn't really anything there. But then when we actually saw the first wave toys for Dawn Brothers, yeah, they continuing to use the Sentai gears or whatever they're called in Dawn Brothers. I don't know. I haven't seen it at this point, and here it is. A week and a half, a week or so before the end of the year. Um, I haven't seen Dawn Brothers, but the whole idea of the Sentai gears carrying over, okay, all right. But to be fair, when I didn't like the way that they treated the Sentai powers. I didn't like the way that they did in Zenkaiger. But anyways, so I wasn't really encouraged. Like, okay, they're going to use the Sentai gears again. They're probably going to treat the Sentai gears the same way in Dawn Brothers that they did in Zenkaiger. So I'm like, no, I'm not. Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger. There it is. Um, so I didn't like the way that they were treating him in Zenkaiger, and Don Brothers was probably just going to be more of same. So I wasn't like I like the idea of the tributes and using old Sentai powers. That's fine. I loved it in Gokaiger. In fact, Chekhov, you and I were just talking about Gokaiger a couple of minutes ago and how you've got a DX Gokaio. You want to? I guess I should
Oh
give you the
yeah.
chance to speak about that.
Um. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So yeah. So far the only Gokayo stuff I have is Gokayo, which I think is a pretty nice mecha. Only wish Gokayo has at like a better combination, like final combination, instead of what we actually got at the end.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm really happy with what Gokayo has done. And about Dumb Brothers, you will be surprised that actually, even though they can transform into this old Sentai,
Hmm.
they don't really use it that much. Really, it's really rare when they actually transform, which I actually like that because Sentai, the new Sentai should focus more on the new powers than in previous Sentais because since Gokaier, every season feels like it's like a special season.
I've said this before. Actually, I said this in my most popular video on my channel where I did the commentary on the first wave toys and such. I've often said that Gokaiger is the peak of Super Sentai in terms of tributes to past Sentai series. And once you move past Gokaiger, what exactly could you do with it to either match up to Gokaiger or be greater than Gokaiger? Because the problem is with this new Sentai series, which is Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger. No, that's not easy to say. Um, it's just going to be another show. But when we get, which is the 47th Sentai series, but the question is when we get to the 50th anniversary in 3 years, in Was it 2026? Yeah, 2026. When we get there, that's 50 shows. How do you beat Gokaiger with that? Because lest we forget, at this point, 7 years ago, when you had oh, what were those fucking cubes? Juoger, the
Yes,
Juoger,
sir.
Dobutsu Sentai Juoger. They said nothing for the 40th anniversary, and it royally pissed me off. 7 years ago, I still haven't forgiven them for that. I don't know how you feel about it, Checo, but yeah,
About Georgia.
yeah. Like
Um,
I heard the show was good, but the toy line was garbage.
I don't know about the show again because I haven't watched it. I really want to watch the show because the first Sentai I ever watched, or when I started watching Sentai was on Tierra Major, and I haven't watched like anything before that. But I might think that might be good. I don't know, but with the toy line is, I'm not a big fan of the toy line because it literally cubes and doesn't do that much. Like it would be cool if they will have add like more transformation sequence and that they look less cubic. I think will be the word
God
when they're
willing.
like on, yeah, when they're like on robot mode because they're literally just cubes.
You know, I don't know if I should say this again, but I was never like hugely offended with the idea of the cube mecha, the cube animals. Like that part didn't piss me off. What pissed me off is, A, what the fuck do cube animals have to do with the anniversary of Super Sentai? And B, they made zero nods, zero tributes to the 40th anniversary of Super Sentai. They said and did nothing. They didn't do any reissues. They didn't bring any alum into the show. They did nothing compared to what Gokai, because it was like it was Gokaiger, that was incredible, and then they go into Juoger, what the fuck, and then they go into Zenkaiger, which, well, I'm jumping ahead a bit, go into Zenkaiger, and then they just mention the powers for like a half minute per episode, and then that's it. I mean, to be fair, with Bokinger, the only way you heard about the tributes or whatever it is was in the closing credits with the song that they had. But they were building up to Gokaiger. What can you do? But anyways, long story short, Zenkaiger was not very encouraging for me from a toy line perspective. I mean, I've got the mecha, well, most of them. I actually had an opportunity. Actually, it was Checkup. That's how I met you. A couple months ago, you actually maybe I should let you talk about that. But like a couple of months ago, you said you were going to get rid of your Tukayo, and you asked me if I wanted to buy it, and I'm like, let me look at it, and then I said no. So yeah,
Yeah, all
go ahead.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Senkai, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a big fan of their individual mode because that's one of the things that I think Sentai should focus before when they're doing like a mecha. They should focus first on how it's gonna look their individual sorts, and then how the mecha is gonna look. Like they both need to look good, in my personal opinion. And with Senkai, I think the mechas look good. Like the two main mechas look good,
Mm-hmm.
but their individuals are pretty bad, in my personal opinion. With Tukayo, it just feels like they just grab like a broken toy, smash it together, and be like, "Hey, a mecha, there you go."
I remember somebody referring to it as a Power Rangers Megazord, and when I looked at it with those eyes, I was like, "Oh God, it is a Power Rangers Megazord." Oh shit! So that's why I did
Yeah,
that. Even down to the point of they use that swirly plastic that's real cheap, and everybody knows it's cheap, and sometimes it's actually kind of on the brittle side. So when you do the swirly plastic, they're reaching. So that's one of the reasons why, or that's one of many reasons why I didn't get the Tukayo, because like, no, no. But anyways, getting back to why it is I didn't why I didn't cover Dawn Brothers. Um, Going into it, the toy line just wasn't very appealing. You had I've got it in front of me here. What's it called? You had the Dawn Blaster, which sounds amusing. And to be fair, they did move the Sentai gears away from the top of the gun. I do have the D revolver from Deca Ranger, and I really really like that thing because it has three or no, not three. I'm sorry, has dual rotating blasters on it, or cannon barrels or whatever. So that's real neat. And then it has the revolving thing in the back. It's like the D revolver is neat. I like that. But then when you look at the Dawn Buster, like or Dawn Blaster, I'm sorry, it's the colors are garish. They're desperate to get the glasses or the sunshades onto the thing, which, okay, whatever. Um, but I don't know. Just something told me the Dawn Blaster just wasn't. I didn't like it much. Um, the what's it called? The Ryuko no Geki that Don Dorai Goku and Don Torabolt used. That was kind of neat, but it's only one piece that moves, and you can. I don't know. Like, if there was a toy, or if there was a roleplay toy from Don Brothers that I would get, it would be the Ryuko no Geki. That was that was kind of a neat idea. You've got a spear that changes into a hatchet or something, or not a hatchet, changes into I'll say a battle axe of some kind. So yeah, okay, that's kind of a neat idea. I also liked the what's it called? The Zangla sword. That's funny, but if that was the only thing I was gonna get, then it wasn't really worth pursuing. Besides, I probably couldn't even read the Sentai gears that they had. So, or no, wait, there. I'm sorry, Avataro gears. They're called Avataro gears here. Sorry about that. So, yeah, and I just wasn't feeling Don Brothers toy line in early 2020. It just there was nothing there for me. So, rather than just say, well, that exists for a half hour and not be entertaining whatsoever, I figured I'd save my own skin and just not say anything at all. It actually got to the point where I was just so uninterested in Dawn Brothers that, as you all know, well, a half year ago, you knew, I purchased I filled in some gaps from Lupin Rangers versus Pat Ranger with some Versus vehicles. I spent hundreds of dollars on that thing, so several $100s, I should point out. I never did finish that concluding video. I'm sorry, but and as I was buying those things up in like January and February, I was thinking to myself, God, I hope Don Brothers doesn't come up with any amazing toys because the amount of money I'm spending on Loop Hat doing the Loop Hat catch up, I can't afford to do anything from Don Brothers. Are you kidding me? I was like, please don't be a good line. Please don't be a good line. Please don't be a good line. Oh, Don Onitaijin. Oh, God damn it. And Don Onitaijin just, oh my God, Checkup, you want to speak on Don Onitaijin?
So the Dawn Italian is a real beast. I really love the mecha, and I don't know if I think I mentioned this before with the other mechas, but something I didn't like was with the individuals, mostly focusing with red and yellow because they're literally just tattoos. Like the red sword doesn't move the arms 360 like let's say uh Kaku Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
You know how the individual mecha has like a monkey and of the red sword, and it could actually move the arm 360.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
why. I don't know why they couldn't do that. Like literally, the arms are just supposed to be there. I guess.
Yeah, I can never remember the names of these things just because I don't have one. Yeah, Don Robotaro. I didn't like the way that the arms didn't move on that thing. Now I can understand them. Well, actually, no, I can't understand why the arms just disconnect from the shoulder ports and you stick them on the back. That thing I didn't understand. I was like, why did they do that? I don't. I mean, how many decades of shoulder armor or shoulder arms or shoulder joints, I'm sorry, just swiveling to the back or swiveling to the front. Hell, if you look at the what's it called? I'll just call it the Mammoth from the Daijujin in 1992. They did it there, so why couldn't they do it with Don Robotaro?
I just don't understand.
Yeah,
Like Honest Sister, I can kind of understand why, but Don Momotaro, I really just don't understand. Like, what's the deal? Is because of transformation, and they have proved wrong because there is no actual transformation.
yeah, I agree. So yeah, so Don Robotaro, and then yeah, Oni's sister Robotaro. I thought it was just Oni Robotaro or something like that. Yeah, there was no excuse. Like if you want to, it had to be monoleg because of the transformation. You had to have that structural stability. Okay, I understand that, and we've had monoleg on sub Zords or sub Mecha in the past. So I can't even be mad about that. Hashtag King-Ohger. But that being said, why don't the arms on Oni Robotaro move? There was no excuse there, none. I mean, you could get it to move on the Ino Robotaro, and you get the wings to move on Kiji Robotaro, but why don't they move on Oni Robotaro? I just don't even. There was no excuse on that one. But still, the fact that Don Onitaijin even exists blew my mind, and I deeply regret that I wasn't able to get one when I had the opportunity. So it's just
Oh, okay, okay. So what I was trying to say is they released this premium figure on Bandai Premium, where basically it's the same Dawn Italian, but it has better paint, and Ani's sister can move the arms, at least the short, like the elbow, to grab this special weapon.
huh? You're gonna have to send me a go ahead and send me a link for that in Discord. I've like I was going to point out that there's a Bandai Premium version where Don Robotaro can move the shoulders, and also the hips are more posable so that Don Onitaijin can actually get the thighs to move forwards 90 degrees because it was so stupid the way they set it up, and I can kind of understand why. It's almost a repeat of the what was it called, the DX Metal Append Zenkaio Juragown that I reviewed, where it's like, well, they know that collectors are involved, so like you either do a higher quality version of the um, general release, the mass produced version, and then everybody complains the joints are too tight and it costs way too much money, just so that you can release the metal append version where the joints actually do make sense. Or you can release a separate version, the DX Metal Append, where you don't have to worry about that, where it's specifically designed for collectors, and as a result, it has crappy joints attached to it. So they're doing basically the same thing with Don Robotaro with this collector's edition thingy. Is they're releasing a new version where the arms can't move, but the legs or the hips can move forward 90 degrees, and the skirt armor can move. So, it's both frustrating because you have to buy another set, but they also throw in the chair, they also throw in the fan, they also throw in the banners, and they also throw in the background. So,
Isn't that the mini pla?
no, it's not a mini plot, it's DX.
Is DX?
Mm-hmm.
I have to check that because the only thing I remember having all that was the mini pla.
No, well, the mini plot also has it. Here, let me see. So basically, what they're doing here is they're waiting for the end of the toy line where King-Ohger's toy line is going to kick off when this thing is released. So it's like, hey, did you enjoy the Dawn Brothers toy line? Here's a bonus thing for the end of that.
And you say Momotaro can move its arm here?
No, it has functional skirt armor.
Oh, okay, okay.
So Don Onitaijin can move its hips forward 90 degrees. The regular release could not do that. They could kind of wiggle around a little, but the skirt armor wouldn't move.
I'm actually happy they're gonna re-releasing this because it's gonna make the regular the version cheaper.
Yeah, that's exactly why they did that. Yeah, because to give the collectors something to hang on to. I don't believe that this version has the mechanism in the shoulders to be able to do that. I'm not certain. But you can
Just
see the pictures of Don Oni Taijin. You can see the hips actually splay and move about a lot better than the regular version. So
yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
yeah,
because the
so
only one that could do that was the mini pla.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this DX Momo Robotaro version. Well, it says Momo Robotaro. It's Don Robotaro. Anyways, this version, it's called the Movable Edition and Oni Taijin parts set. So if you scroll down to some of the other pictures, you can see you can actually recreate the scene where actually it's in that very first picture there. You can see it's got the fan in its hand. It has the stool, and then it also has the big banner in the background. Oh, and it also has an extra pair of hands.
On the mini pla version, the fan actually is just a cardboard picture, literally. So it's really good they actually released this because we can finally actually get the plastic version of that fan.
So basically, with this add-on set, you can recreate the box art of the regular issue Don Onitaijin, which you can't do that with a regular release, but you can do it if you add this in.
They even include the background. That's actually nice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but I'm mostly happy they actually releasing this just for me to get the regular edition cheaper.
Yeah, yeah. I think they've realized that they have a market there where they can do that. So whatever it is that King-Ohger comes up with, depending on how posable it is, I have no idea at this point. Depending on how posable it is, they might do the same thing later on. They also did that in 2014 for Tokyo, where the Tokyo did not have posable elbows and it didn't have any diecast metal in it, but there was an additional set that was released afterwards, or it was an accessories only set where they gave you a pair of elbows so you could actually pose Tokyo's elbows accordingly.
Oh yeah, I remember that release. I think it was when they released this evilish robot that appears on the show.
Oh, I forgot what those are
So
called, but yes, it's not in the same kit, but yeah.
it's not in the same kit.
No, no, no,
Weird.
no, no.
Oh, that's weird because I thought I saw like an unboxing on YouTube where they actually were unboxing the figure, and the figure came with those elbow joints that you could add on. Wait, no, no, never mind, never mind. I'm confusing the other release they did with where they released this rail with all the different colors, so you can put the Tokyo in it, and also come with the elbows.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it was. It was the it was the rainbow colored train tracks, and then the
Yes,
elbows were included with that.
and they also later released Tokyo again, but like using instead of using gray plastic, they use metal. That was the only difference.
Yeah, that was a limited release, obviously. The price of that thing, and oh yeah, the metal version exists. It could be so expensive. We are way off topic, by the way. So yeah, Avatar Sentai Dawn Brothers. The Avatar forms, I do not care, and they're stupid. The whole idea. Oh, I'm sure there's a reason in the show why Don Momotaro can shrink himself down to the size of a 3.5 inch action figure, and then he gets accessory vehicles attached to him. Okay, whatever. I don't like the toys, so you didn't hear me comment on anything about that. Some of the toys were nice, but just no. Sorry about that technical difficulty, folks. Checkup was having a little bit of trouble, so it's a good place to cut that off and say, yeah, I could have spent a whole year talking about Avatar, Senti Dawn Brothers, and the Avatar forms that just kind of suck or whatever. But yeah, I think we spent enough time killing time talking about something I could have spent all this year talking about. So let's move on to the new stuff, shall we? Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger, one of the strangest titles. And it's really strange because Ohsama it's like my king, task force, King-Ohger. I think that's what it translates into. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger, which is just the title alone is like the kind of the speculation was like, are they all going to be wearing crowns? Are they all going to be decked out in gold? To be fair, a Sentai team that's decked out in gold all year long. That's kind of an interesting idea. Yeah, O Ranger, Magi Ranger, and they're not what was that called? Super Magi Ranger? Is that what they were called? I don't remember. Okay, so in any event, let's get into this. Yeah, I've quick comment here. I've been aware for the last was it 3 days now that these pictures, the one picture, the one announcing picture that we're be getting into on here, I knew that was coming. I just chose to wait until today when the pictures for the toys and things like that, where I could actually talk about stuff. Because, I mean, you know me, and I said it a couple of minutes ago, that I don't really care about the suits. That doesn't bother me. Or that's not a factor for me. What's interesting to me is the mecha. And sometimes, yes, the role play. So I was waiting for that stuff to come out. Then I would make this recording. And so I'm going to be looking at the new picture in three, two, one. Whoa! Purple. The freaking whoa! Oh my god! Are those bloody insects? Oh my god! I think they're insects. Dude, what? Are you kidding me? How long have we? Wow, those swords! Holy shit! How long have we wanted an insect-themed Sentai? How long have we wanted that? Oh my god! Or should I say, oh my king? Um, Go ahead, Checo. Say what you like. I'm. Jesus.
Well, yeah, the first time I saw the picture, I was impressed, like you, like really impressed, because every time I see this, like the picture, or like the first time when I saw it, the first thing I noticed is like the costumes kind of look like, I don't know if you share the same thought. They kind of look like Kamen Rider suits.
Yeah, they got heavy armor here. Or no, just they have armor. Period. Oh
I
my
don't know.
god! And there's no white except for like the edges of their capes. They have actual capes here. Whoa!
They're really amazing designs. And there is one thing that you will notice why I say they look kind of like Kamen Rider, because there actually is a reason of why.
Okay.
I don't know if you want me to share the reason,
No,
so
go
that's
ahead.
why I
Go.
haven't said.
I don't know
Okay.
a lot of Kamen Rider, but I've followed some of it. Oh my god, what is that? Go
So
ahead.
the writers of this new show are some people that have worked on Kamen Rider on one of the good movies and seasons, if I'm not wrong. Um, so that's why they look actually like Kamen Riders.
Well, I
They
mean,
actually have good writers.
to be fair, both Super Sentai and Kamen Rider draw from the same resources, so they're both the toys and concepts and ownership are from Bandai Namco, and then the visuals are the like the oh my god, my mind is blown right now. Jesus, um, my the what is it? The visual appearance of the heroes, their weapons, their suits, and their mecha, all of that comes from a design firm called Plex. When Super Sentai began in 1975, that responsibility was a different company called Popey, or Poppy, or Popey, one of the two. Oh my god! And um, then Toei Company Limited, they actually produced the TV series and movies and all the live action stuff. So, but then you turn around and so so my point is, Kamen Rider and Super Sentai draw from the same resources at the same time. Okay, so if you say this is being designed by the Kamen Rider people, that doesn't entirely surprise me because it's always been designed by the same people.
I didn't knew that actually,
Mm-hmm.
but good to know.
Holy shit. And it's not a pink ranger, it's a violet ranger. Or purple. That's an interesting choice. Wait a minute, who's. Wait, who. Wait, are there no female rangers here? Am I losing my mind?
I think they're gonna be one. They're near. They're arguing like it's gonna be two because of one of the names that people thought it was only like a male name, but now they have discovered that that name can be used also on females. So now they're thinking that probably they're gonna be two females. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, so we have a Kawaga Oger, which is a red stag beetle, because of course, Japan and their obsession with stag beetles. Yeah, why not? Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I'm making a prediction right now. we're not just going to have a stag beetle, which is called a kuagata. I think is what the actual what they call the insect they call it, which basically means a helmeted or a horned beetle. But then we're also going to have there's going to be the stag beetle. Then there's going to be it's I think it's called a rhinoceros beetle over here, but I can't think of what they call it over there. One of the Go Rigers from Hurricane. He was the so I'm predicting there's going to be one of those. Okay, and I'm also predicting they're going to have what's called the elephant beetle, which is like a lot bigger, has a different. If you remember from the Metal Hero series, B Fighter or Juco B Fighter, I'm sorry, the Mega Heracles, which I actually unboxed 4 or 5 years ago, or not unboxed, which I actually did a video on. I can link it below. Um, that was a Hercules beetle. That's what it's called. That's why it's called Mega Heracles. I'm guessing they're going to have those two beetles in there at some point. I don't know how, but they are. So we have King-Ohja, who's red stag beetle. Blue is Tonbo-Ohger, a dragonfly. Dragonfly, that's actually a nice idea. I like that. And then yellow is Kami-Riri-Ohger. Kami-Riri-Ohger, which is a mantis. Oh, I see it. Okay, I get it. Purple is Papillion-Ohger, a butterfly. Yeah, I kind of figured that was a butterfly. And then black is Hachi-Ohger. Hachi, of course, being a bee. It's interesting. His helmet is slightly different from the others in that it's got yellow, or it's got that orange color, and then it also has different colored antennae for the bee. So there's a slight difference there. And then I'm noticing that on Kami Riri Oger's helmet, her helmet is has a little bit of purple on it. So it's interesting they're not afraid to put some strange colors onto the helmets or even the outfits. I'm also noticing the swords have wooden handles on them. Holy crap!
I don't know if you have noticed, Abe, if you see the logo,
Yes.
at least for me, like the gold part looks so much alike to me, or similar to Goseier's logo.
Yeah, I can see that. I can understand that. Yeah, you're not wrong there. They got a crown and a sword built into the Ohsama, or the word Ohsama. They've got the crown and a sword there, so that's a nice touch. Oh my god, they actually gave us insects. Fucking fun. Now, you, here's kind of the disappointing part now. You would expect like medieval knights to be associated with dragons. That's kind of the last one that they haven't done yet is an all dragon team. That's kind so like I wanted like dragons and medieval knights or something like that. That should go together. But in this case, I think they're doing it here. So it's like insects and medieval armor, which it kind of is. Actually, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell with these guys. I'm not sure, but yeah. Next one up is all dragons. They've got to do it in the next 5 years or the next 3 years, 2 years. This is the third one, so yeah, they got to do it in the next 2 years. They got to give us all dragons. Come on, don't disappoint. And nothing but dragons. Don't sneak a turtle in there. Don't do a what's that one massive lizard called? I can't think of what it's called. Don't streak any drag or don't put any dinosaurs in there. You know, no. Komodo dragon. That's what I think of. No lizards. No. We want dragons. All dragons. Okay, no excuses. Goddamn insect. All insects. It's about fucking time. And also, I'm seeing a castle in the background. I am going to be so happy if that is the base and the base can transform. We haven't had one of those in how long has it been? I want to say maybe Deca Ranger, which was in 2004. Was the last time we had a big base mecha. Does
I
that sound
was
about?
wondering the same.
Yeah, I think it's yeah Deca Ranger. I mean, unless we want to count that absolute garbage that came out of Q Ranger a number of years ago. I don't think either one of us wants to talk about that, but that reminds me. Just a quick aside here. I saw I was looking for like past Sentai toy lines or whatever it is that were still like on discount or whatever it is a couple of weeks ago, and I noticed that the Orion Battler is a shell former 5 years later. That's pretty fucking sad. Like they're not even discounting it. This is just my mind has been blown. And then they have the colors. Those the symbols on their swords or whatever it is. That's pretty crazy. I'm interested to see what the toy line's going to look like.
Are you seeing the second picture, or you keep seeing the first one?
No, I'm only looking at the announcement picture for the five rangers and then the robo in the background there. So, um, yeah, I can stare at this a bit later. So, are you ready to move on to the next page that I sent you?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. What does this say here? First set of images for the upcoming 47th Super Sentai series Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger is now online. King-Ohger begins in the world of Chikyu. Okay, Chikyu is. I think Chikyu is. No, that's not Earth. That's something else. Because there was Chikyu Sentai 5 Man, I want to say. So that's totally not going to be confusing later on, but whatever. Which has five kingdoms. The leaders of each kingdom have gathered for thousands of years to protect the lands at the Ohsama Sentai, with powers granted by the King's Weapon. I'm guessing that's the sword that can take new forms with each wielder. So I'm guessing that's the sword. So okay, so each of them is a king. All right.
No, that description kind of remind me to Ranger. How each Ranger used to be, I think, the leader of one dinosaur. I think it
Oh
was.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it kind of reminds me to Ranger, which I really love.
Oh, hello. Okay, here we go. Kuwaga Oger is a self-proclaimed king brimming with fighting spirit. Why wouldn't they? His king's weapon form is a shield. Tonbo Oger. Let's see, which one's Tonbo? Tonbo is. I gotta get rid of that picture. That's Tonbo's blue. Okay. So Tombo Oger is extremely smart. Extremely smart. Okay then, and extremely competitive. He uses the king's weapon in gun form. Oh, oh, dude. I think their weapons. I think those are multi-mode weapons. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, I love weapons that do that, where it's like multiple weapons in one. They had those in Ninja. They had them in Gosager, or not? No, no, no. I'm sorry. Gingaman. That's what I was thinking of. So like Gingaman, there was the first time they did that with the. Please forgive me, the Galaxy Sabers or whatever, or not? No. What were they called? Galaxy Daggers or whatever. Trans daggers, that's what they were called. Yeah. So I love weapons that like it looks exactly the same, but you can use them in different ways. At least as long as they transform. Let's not talk about that one from what was it? What was that guy called? Star Ninja. Star Ninja's weapon was bullshit. So yeah, I didn't like that. I think that's what they're going to do here. I think that sword that they're all using. I think the sword can like transform in different ways. Oh, oh! Please tell me that it can change in different ways. Please, 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 please. Kemi Kiri Oger is a selfish queen, but will face danger to protect others. Huh? Okay. Her king's weapon becomes a scythe. Ooh. All right. Papillion Oger, which is the pink ranger, purple ranger, is normally calm-minded but unforgiving to evil, using king's weapon and a bow. Hachi Oger is a cheerful lord with unpredictable fighting styles. His king weapon becomes a claw. Aiding the King Ogers. It's such an amusing meme, and believe it or not, it's strange as it sounds, it never really gets tired. The idea that the personalities of the Five Rangers never changes. They're actually like a weird rotation. So like, even though the colors change, their personalities just swap from series to series.
Yeah, there's one that is either doesn't want to like collaborate with the others. The other one is always happy. The other one is always energetic, and yeah, it's always the same attitude, or the same.
There's one that's
They
always
act the same. They act
there,
the same.
yeah. There's like one that's like stoic and noble and doesn't speak very much.
We have that on Kira Major with Blue, and with Senkai, I think it was with Stay Caesar.
Stay Caesar isn't a ranger necessarily. He's not. Well, I mean, like the core five rangers or core three in some cases.
I think that was maybe Broom, maybe probably. But Broom was always like excited about learning new stuff.
He was the
Uh,
one who was always stumbling into trouble.
yeah, and then Durant was the party guy who always was. He was the older. He was literally guiding everyone, even Kaito.
Mm-hmm.
And Majin, she was the clumsy,
Yeah.
and Gaon was the selfish.
Oh
Literally.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The first time, the first episodes of Senkai, I didn't like Gaon. I really didn't like him because he never take the blame of stuff he did, and for some reason he started hating his own race, which was I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, he started kind of like changing, becoming a better character for what he actually was, which I actually appreciate. They actually changed his personality a little bit, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't tell if Papillion Oger is a female or not. It's difficult to tell. I don't know because the description here doesn't make a lot of sense.
Which one?
Papillion, which is the purple one, I still can't tell if that's a female or not.
I don't know.
Because I mean, just this year, what was his name? Kiji brother from Dawn Brothers. He was a pink. So it was the first time it was a male ranger was pink. So, so at this point, it's kind of like all bets are off. We've had yellow male rangers and we've had yellow female rangers. So I mean that one was broken a while ago. But I can't. But we've never had a mainstay purple ranger. That we've never had.
I just
So
don't understand why the description doesn't say anything about if it's a him or a she. Since all the other descriptions do so.
yeah.
That's weird.
But because it's a butterfly, I think it might be safe to say this is a female. I'm not entirely certain. So, okay. So, moving on. Aiding the King-Ohgers in their battle against the Earth Empire Bugnarok. Oh, yes! Bugnarok! Yes!
Making
I
me
love
argue
that! Bugnarok! Yes!
instead of Ragnarok. I love it.
Bugnarok. Jesus.
Amazing.
It's curious though. They're called the Earth Empire Bugnarok. Now this doesn't take place. I don't think this show takes place on Earth, or maybe it's one of those things where like the battle on Chikyu kind of spills over onto Earth. Maybe that's what it is. But they're called the Earth Empire Bugnarok. I fucking love that title. I don't care. I don't even care what the villains look like. That's just a great title.
Yeah, it is. Definitely.
Okay, so aiding the King-Ohgers in their battle against the Earth Empire Bugnarok. That's not getting old. Are the Shoe Gods. Powerful mechanical insectoids worshipped across Chikyu, these new forces unite. The first five Shoe Gods. Is that right? Yeah, Shoe Gods match the King-Ohger's own powers. God Kuaga, God Tonbo, God Kamikiri, God Papillion, and God Hachi. Soon after, five more Shoe Gods will join the battle. Oh no, accessory mecha. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't like accessory mechas. I prefer if they actually just release a separate mecha.
Wait a minute.
Oh well.
Wait a minute. No. When all 10 of these Shoe Gods combine, they create an almighty mecha, the King-Ohja. Wait, didn't we just have a King-Ohja? Have I heard that? We have a King-Ohja?
Wait. Okay, I think I know what's going on. This is getting
King-Ohger.
interesting. This
Yeah,
is getting interesting. You will
yeah.
see when you see the pictures. You will understand.
I see one of them. Yeah, I see one of them. But first things first, we're going to go through these one at a time. Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger begins on March 5th. All right, so enough of that. So, all right, so I'm just going to start. I'm going to go through these pictures one at a time here. Wow, that is very Hachioger. His armor is very shiny.
I love it actually. Um, this blue color they use, it doesn't look bad. It's weird.
Yeah, I allow for differences once in a while. I mean, as long as it mixes things up a little bit, that doesn't bother me entirely.
It looks cool. It's just weird, a weird combination, but looks fine.
I think we'll get used to it. I don't think that'll be a problem. Well, we've got Kamakiri Oger, which is yellow. Huh. Oh shit! Oh shit! A 10-part first wave robo?
Yep, that's exactly. I love it.
A 10-part first wave robo.
Do you know what mecha this is reminding me? You
Go ahead.
know from Gingaman, the red one and the blue one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It kind of reminds me to that because it used to have some for example, the red one used to have like two or three mechas that didn't transform at all. You just literally
Yeah.
attach them. So I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be kind of the similar thing here, I guess.
I don't know about that. Because this is a stunt suit that I'm seeing. Okay, I'm gonna cheat a little bit here. I'm gonna look for toys. I hope they have toys in here. Um, please tell me they're showing toys here. I want to see toys. God, to tell me I've got don't tell me I've waited this long and I've kind of blown my wad and it turns out there's no toys pictured here. I don't think they have toys in this reveal. Doggone it. Now I've got Gingaman's theme stuck in my head, which is not a bad theme to have stuck in one's head. No, really.
I'm just happy this mech is gonna be made out of 10 vehicles
You
because
know,
you usually. Sorry, what?
I'm wondering about that. The reason why they would do that because we've got. How does this work? We've got. Let's see. What did that say? Twin God Tendo, Dual God Kumo, Kumo not Kuma. I don't know. These are all insects, and one God Ant. That's gonna sound weird. So the ant forms the pelvis armor, I guess, and then oh, there's a spider that forms the chest, and then um there's two that form the forearms. This is going to open up for some. It all depends on what the toys do because I just did a quick look around. There's no toys in this, unfortunately, so we're just going to have to wait. But um, this allows for the possibility of because we have to talk for a moment here about what's it called Don Onitaijin, and I can't and please forgive me, I can't pronounce the name of the final combined form, but Don Onitaijin is absolutely a revolution in DX toy design in terms of Super Sentai. Now the sacrifice was that the individual robos didn't were very very limited in how they could pose and move about whatever it is. And you look at was it Oni sister Robotaro for
Yeah,
example.
Onesis, the Robotaro, and Momotaro.
Yeah, so those were the sacrifices. They couldn't have any posability whatsoever, so that they could have room for posability joints and things like that. So we do have to bring that up. But that being said, the question becomes would they do it again over and over and over for the future? So here's what I'm noticing, okay? So get this. I'm getting a Go Say Great vibe off of this, okay? So the front of the lower torso. Wait. Oh, wait a minute. The center of the chest and the front of the pelvis are exactly the same mecha. The difference is the colors have been swapped. They're both spiders.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Oh,
You see
that's
it?
actually interesting. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay,
Um,
go ahead.
I wanted to say lazy, but not really because because it looks really nice.
If you now I'm thinking about it here. If you're gonna maximize production and you're gonna have 10 mecha involved here, it does make I do think we are gonna see a number of repaints, and we're getting one right smack in the middle of the very first the first wave robo. We're getting a repaint right there. Okay. So that being said, the left arm, or no, I'm sorry, the forearms and the fists are a single mecha. Okay. Or two separate. Okay. Then you have the two spiders. One forms the front of the pelvis. The other's the center of the chest. Okay. Excuse me. Then we have the looks like an ant or something like that forms part of the sword. Okay. I'm thinking to myself right now, we need to look at this from a Gosei Great type perspective, where depending on which insects they have attached, that will determine the mode that King-Ohger goes into. I think this is going to be another take on what Gosei Great was trying to do, what the Gosei Mecha were trying to do.
Actually, better.
Well, yeah. Why is power flickering? That's not a good thing.
Uh, you know something I have noticed? Maybe you noticed already, but like if you see yellow and black,
Mm-hmm.
they're literally the same configuration as the Dumb Brother.
Okay, I can allow for that. Yeah.
So I can't. Whenever I see the food now, I feel like I'm seeing the Don on Italian food for some reason.
I suppose so. Depending on how those transform. Now, I do think there
Uh,
are some pictures of the mecha themselves.
And also, you have the faces looking at you, like the on Italian did.
Um, I don't think so with the yellow mantis and the black bee. No, I don't think so. I think they're completely different. If you go ahead and jump ahead a little bit, I think it's the fourth picture. Take a look at that. Now the papillion and the bee are not visible right now, at least not in the way that this has been cut. But in the top left corner, I think they learned their lesson from Oni's sister, or I'm sorry, Oni Robotaro, and they very clearly allowed for the legs to be able to move about. And that big black thing is very obviously the knee connection point.
I'm really happy they're not using any more individual humanoid mechas because they have shown previously that they cannot do it properly. They always have to sacrifice something.
Well, that's true of any combining robot. That's not fair to say, Chekhov. I disagree with that. Let me see. What was the occasion where they did that properly? In Zenkaiger, I think they did it properly there, where they had the megadon. The only problem with the what were they called, Kikanoids, is that with Zenkaio Vroomagine, I had to think for a moment there, with Vroomagine, both with Vroom and with Magine, they were monoleg. Or no, I'm sorry, Vroom was monoleg, and it was completely pointless. There was no reason for him to be monoleg, and I have one of those. So yeah, I would disagree on that one. That was the bad engineering choice.
Yeah, all I'm saying is like if they give me the choice between selecting a humanoid individual versus a animal slash vehicle, I will go always to the vehicle.
Did you ever get your hands on a Magi King?
I want to get a Magikin. I love Magikin.
Okay. So I still have mine. Yeah, 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 yeah. And I think that's probably the best humanoid mecha combination that they've ever done. Oh
Do you
man,
know
someone wants my attention.
if the mermaid can move the arms?
No, they.
Is
Yeah, the arms can only bop out to the side a little bit, and that's it.
okay, yeah. Again, same thing always. It's always something need to be sacrificed for the mecha to work. That's the reason why I prefer sometimes vehicles over humanoids. It's not saying that if you release a humanoid individual mecha, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not saying that, but I just usually prefer vehicles over humanoid mechas. That's just my preference, you know.
Hmm.
But Magic King is a really wonderful mecha. I really want to get one.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. Magic King is was the pinnacle of Super Sentai Robo design. The way it transformed, the appearance of it, the visual styles, um, the level of detailing on it, how it transformed, the different modes it changed into. There wasn't really any sacrifice. I think like Magi Mermaid might have been the most sacrificed component. There's always one that gets sacrificed. Always one. So you can't really avoid that. Although in the case of Ghost Great, it was
Robotaro.
all of them. Well,
Robotaro.
yeah, but hang on. Even then, they did. I mean, we talked about it a little bit ago. Even
Yeah, yeah, I
then,
know.
they did release that collector's edition version, whatever it is. Okay, so getting back to King-Ohger here, I'm noticing something interesting about the God Kuwaga or Kuwaga or whatever it is. The first thing is, I think this actually has posable legs on it. Okay,
Is that
yeah, the
the
red
red
one.
beetle?
Yeah, the red
Okay,
beetle.
yeah, the beetle looks amazing actually.
Yeah, it does.
It
It's
kind
incredible.
of reminds me to the blue. I think it was a beetle too on this. Damn it, I forget Ninja Storm. I forget the name in Japanese. Hurricaneer. Yeah, the Hurricaneer.
Yeah. Kuwaga. What was that one called? I forgot what they were called. Yeah, yeah, it's from the Go Right Years, the Go Right Jin. That's
Yeah,
the one
yeah,
that
yeah. The blue one.
which I
It kind
still
of
have.
reminds me to that one.
Oh yeah,
So
sure.
I want to get Hurricaneer's mecha. It's just that I'm afraid they're gonna break easily because of the gold plastic syndrome.
There's dude. There's no gold plastic syndrome on Hurricane. Gold plastic syndrome is Transformers only.
All I know is like the blue sword, like the dolphin, is weak. It's pretty weak. It can break really easily. There's a lot of videos on YouTube. I might share you one.
The only place where Hurricane Dolphin might have a problem would be in the transformation joint for the tail. There was always a bit of you bit ahead to fight that a little bit.
Do you know the clips where you clip it on the little base to roll it around?
Hmm.
I have seen people just clipping it regularly there, and then when they try to remove it, sometimes the plastic just snap out of it, and they have to use glue to like put it back in.
Well, I mean, to be fair, at this point right now, Senpujin, the DX Senpujin is 21 years old at this point. So yeah, I mean that's going to happen, you know.
I
Um,
mean, Daijujin is older, and you haven't seen stuff like that. That's why I'm kind of like afraid.
no, Daijujin is actually my Daijujin is has been showing signs of not wear and tear necessarily, but just aging. Plastic getting more brittle over time. So that's not. I wouldn't worry about that too much there.
Okay.
Um, Getting back to King-Ohger, there's a couple of things I'm noticing here. One, the red stag, Quagga, God Quagga, what a great name by the way. First thing, one, it has asymmetrical detailing on it. So if you notice the horns on it, one side has more red on it, the other side has actually more gray on it. Have you seen that?
Which one are you talking about? God.
The red
I
one.
think. Oh, for some reason I was thinking you were talking about God Kamakira.
But no, look at the red one and then look at the horns on it. Look at the differences.
Wait, is it me or I can see on the helmet of the Red Ranger? I can see like he has more horns in the back.
Oh yeah, he does. Huh.
That's interesting, actually. I love it.
That's strange.
Oh, now going back again to the God, God, God Kuwaga. I don't know
Yes.
if I'm saying it right.
Yeah, Quagga.
Uh, it
Look
looks
at the
pretty nice
antlers.
actually. Yeah.
So you notice that the right antler has a lot more red on it than the left one does?
Yes, I can see that.
The other thing I'm noticing is actually on the head of the god Quagga, the head actually has like an open piece, like a piece of armor's been torn off or something. It's above the left eye.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. I'm just guessing that maybe they're gonna show like a big fight on the beginning, and that will justify why it's looking like that. I guess, which will be really nice.
That might be true, but here's something else I'm noticing, and this to me is interesting. Not many people notice this particular detail, but I am noticing it. Um, if you remember the Q Ranger mecha, the Voyagers, each and every one of them had, although I don't think, what was it called? I don't think Gigant Phoenix did not have this. I don't think it did, and Orion Battler did not have this. But all the other two robos did have this. If you look at the individual components, each and every one of them, the first 10 Rangers, I'll say, is that right? 10,
Yes, I think
11.
they are 10
Yeah,
in total.
the first 11, the 11 out of the 12, their mecha had at least one part on the mecha on the Voyagers where it was asymmetrically detailed. So you'd have like kind of a rust red patch on one side, but then it would be absent on the other side. Now I have Q Rangers theme stuck in my head. Yay! Q Ranger was a
I
good
guess
show
you
for the
have.
most part.
I want to try and watch Q Ranger since you know what they're gonna do or gonna be doing with Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, that was something else that we hadn't talked about. Okay, so there's the wiki on Kirino. So if you look at the that very first picture, you'll notice that the left thigh of Kirino has a red patch on it. On the outer side of the left thigh, it's red. But then if you look at the same location on the right thigh, it's silver.
Yes, I noticed that now.
And then on the inner side of the right thigh, there's a patch of brown there.
Yeah, that's pretty weird actually.
Well, no, because then on the left thigh, on the inner left thigh, it's still silver. My point is, if you look at each and every one of the Voyagers, all of them have an asymmetrical pattern of some kind on them. Sasori Voyager, the left claw has a stripe of yellow on it, but the right claw is just plain silver. With Okami Voyager, I want to say it was either was it like a patch of blue on the left arm, or was it that stripe of yellow on the left side of the face? That was the asymmetrical thing. With Tenbin Voyager, the left thigh has a stripe of white, but the right thigh has I'm sorry, the right leg. Actually, no, the right side, the right torso, the right shoulder, and the right leg all have patches of white on them. But then the left leg just has a single patch of white, but the left arm is still intact. It's still all gold.
I actually like that. I didn't notice actually that kind of detailing.
Yeah, it's one of those details that most people miss. With the Hibitsukai Voyager, which is the silver colored one, the right arm has a big red stripe going down it, but the left arm doesn't have that. But then the left leg has a red stripe going all the way down it, but the right leg does not. So that's so the reason I'm bringing that up is because I'm looking at God Kuwaga, and it has exactly the same thing here. There's a white patch on the right antler. There's a which may be like battle damage, but I doubt that because on the top of the head there's another spot on the left side of the head. There's a little patch of white there, but then on the back left shell there's a patch of gold and a patch of white sitting there. I don't know at this point if that's battle damage or if that's deliberately asymmetrical painting or whatever.
After just playing all that, now I think might be what you've taken.
The reason I'm questioning it is because on King-Ohger,
Is the title.
they're not there. That's the problem. Is they're completely missing. So I'm not certain now.
I'm assuming the red is gonna be really big when it comes in soy form, and I guess on the show as well.
Red is going to be the head, the chest, and the thighs. That's what red's going to be.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna be doing the Go Kaio move, the where the legs connects, where you can always see that connection.
Go Kaio. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I knew that.
I mean, whatever. I mean, they did that on Ninjas with the this mecha. Forget how it was called. The one that looked like it's on fire. I even have it. I forget the name.
Geki Atsudayo!
Yep, I love
The,
it.
in my opinion, one of the worst Super Sentai Ropos ever. It's near or at the bottom of the list. I think the cube animals probably take the bottom of the list, but Gekiyatsu Daio remains my least favorite. Remains one of my least favorites. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I actually like it. Like the simplicity that he has, for some reason, made click on me. And I usually like mechas like that. And I don't know what it is, but I actually like it. I even got the Japanese when I was buying the. I literally got the three mechas, like the Ninja's main mecha, the Six Ranger mecha, and Gekiatsu Daio
Mm-hmm.
for like $120, and I was like, why not?
That's not horrible.
So that's why I still have it,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't never buy it like by itself.
I think I learned my lesson with Gekiyatsu Daio when I had many years ago. I had the Jungle Master Megazord, which was Geki Fire. They did pretty much the same thing there, where they had like molded in fire details, and that would light up, or they would paint it, or they were molded in, or whatever. And I didn't like it then. Well, I kind of liked it at the time, but I actually didn't like it eventually. So I actually got rid of my Jungle Master Megazord, what was it called? I actually got rid of mine. Yeah, so like when Gekiyatsu Daio came along, is like, I've already seen this song and dance. I don't need to see it again. So that's why I'm so turned off. And also, yes, I mean, what was it? The shark, and whatever the two arms are. One's a shark, one's a dragon. I think they don't transform at all. There's no moving parts except for the wheels, and that's it. And to me,
And
that's like
what are you talking about?
Gekiyatsu Daio.
Oh, okay,
The
okay.
arms, they have
No
no.
transformation.
Well, not only do they not have any transformation, which is fucking awful, but like they don't move. There's no moving parts on them except for the wheels on the bottom. That's it.
Yep. And the problem with the turtle is that you can see the head of the mecha all the time. Like I could forgive it if somehow they were able to like hide the head of the Megazord. I cannot see a turtle there. All I can see is Gekiatsu Daio, uh, basically sitting. I don't know. That's all I can say right now.
Oh no, you are correct. Yeah, I know.
It's weird, but I still like the mecha. Like I still like it. I don't know. It looks to me, it looks cool. Not the individuals. The individuals are awful, but the mecha, I actually like it
Oh, so you're talking about when it's combined, you like it?
when it's combined. When it's combined, yep.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Because something I didn't like about Gekiatsu Daio is like, there are like six rangers combined into the Megazord. So the Red Ranger is literally just a hat. Like, what's up with that?
That, believe it or not, I actually, if there was one thing that I could agree with Gekiyatsu Daio, it's that the final wave robo, or whatever it is, did have all six rangers in a single robo, six individual mecha. That part works for me. That part did work. Okay. Now, how they did that, that's up for debate. I agree. That's a problem. But the fact that they got all six in there, I actually agree. That was a good idea. Because really, they'd never done it before. It's always the sixth ranger has his own mecha, and then it always combines with the first wave robo or whatever, and then that's the end of the story. Well, in this case, that's not the case. Um, you actually had what was he called? I just Star Ninja. That was his name. You had Star Ninja included in the final robo, which I liked, and not even the final combined form, which he does, by the way, because he's got the rodeo, not rodeo maru, Bison King. Like Bison King is still present, but
I Son King.
yeah. So yeah, if there's one thing I could stand up for with Gekiatsu Daio, it would be there were six mecha to represent the six rangers. That, in my opinion, was a good idea.
Hopefully we can. I mean, no, never mind. I was gonna say hopefully we can see it this season, but they are technically doing 10 mechas in the main one, but again, there's no sixth ranger included, so.
Oh no, there's no six. I'm thinking this is Gosei Great, all over again with the headers. That's what I'm feeling here. So while there are five smaller what do they call them here? They're called shoe gods. So while there are 10 shoe gods present, I think you're going to swap the chest, the arms, and the pelvis, or front of the pelvis, for a brand new set of accessory mecha that'll come in later on down the line. So, like, you're going to have King-Ohger as a single box set. Then, when April or May comes around, we're going to start hearing about accessory Shugos, okay? Or Shoe Gods. I think Shoe Gods? Shoe Gods, yeah. So we'll have a second wave, and there's going to be five new insects included in that kit that are going to swap places with the five that are here. So the five shoe gods that the King-Ohger have, those are going to stay, okay? But what you're going to end up with is a swapping of the hands, or swapping of the forearms and the hands, a swapping of the chest and the pelvis, and I think there's also going to be a swapping of the sword. They might change that up. The reason I point that out is because, remember, they described these king's weapon that the King-Ohger are going to be using can change forms, and I think that's going to be imported. Oh, please! I hope this is true. That's going to be imported over to the to King-Ohger. I think the accessory vehicles. They're going to be accessory vehicles. Get used to it, folks. I think we're going to have like five mecha come in every single time, and it's going to actually change the type of weapon that King-Ohger can wield each time.
The only thing I'm gonna ask them to do is, at the end of the season, I just hope they combine all the stuff together. In that way, when people buy all those accessories mechas, they bought it for an actual reason, and not just to do an extra combination.
Okay, you're not wrong about that. I don't think you're wrong about that, because the very first picture that we saw, the announcement poster, in the background is very much a castle. I'll put money down that castle is going to be a DX mecha that can transform, and the shoe gods are going to attach to that. So it's going to be a revolver mammoth. It's going to be a Max Ryu-O. It's going to be something along those lines. It's going to be a Hyper Gosei Great. I think that's what that's going to be. We don't have a name for it yet, but that castle is going to become a mecha. I would put money down on that, folks.
It would be cool if we also get back, like, you know how those carrier mechas that we used to get back then in, I think, Sea Ranger and Goku QQ Sentai Goku 5 and Deca Ranger.
That's what that is.
Want to do that.
No, check out. You don't understand. That's what that is. That's a castle. That's a carrier. Well, it might not move. Okay, I'll give you this. It might not move, unless it transforms. But it's castle form. It's whatever fortress or castle form. That's think of it as the Deca base from Deca Ranger. Okay, normally you would have the Deca machines and the Deca wings were stored. Right? No, Pat wings. I'm sorry. So the Deca machines were stored inside of the Deca base, but then it would transform into a vehicle, kind of, and then it would transform into a robo. Now, this is one picture. It's fuzzy. It's in the background. I can't say any more than that. But I think this is going to be a castle that's used for storing mecha inside of it. And then when the time arises, mid season or late season, or whatever, then it will transform into a giant fuck you robot. Okay? And then you get all the accessory robos and stuff attached to that.
I just hope they don't do the same thing they did with King-Ohger with the Voyager. I think it was how it was called. The only thing you
Orion
could do
Battler.
was
Orion Battler.
yeah. So the only thing you could do with that was literally put uh damn it, now I'm forgetting the names.
Voyagers.
The no, no, I'm trying to remember the name of the main mecha of Bokanger. Daiboken. The only
Oh,
thing
yeah.
you could do was put Daiboken on top of it.
Oh, you're thinking of Die Voyager.
Yeah, Daiboyer. Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I still have Die Voyager. If I knew then what I knew now, I would not have gotten it. But that being said, it's not a horrible toy. But it is a brick. It still is. Even what are we at here? 15, 17 years later or something like that. So yeah, it's not aged very well. And even at the time, I knew it wasn't particularly good, but I still got it anyways. Excuses. so that is a possibility, yes. There have been a lot of transforming bricks that we have to deal with, but I think they've kind of learned at this point that that's not something they want to do anymore. The last time they did that was
Ninja.
it might have been a Ninja. No, Q Ranger. I think was the last time where they had a big brick of a final mecha. And like I said, Orion Battler, we just don't fucking talk about that one. Kira Major, they had the Greater Phoenix, something like that.
Yeah, I have that one. The only thing you could do besides transforming it in its own robot is carry basically the five mechas.
I'll say it again. If Grateful Phoenix had debuted as like second wave, it would have been more interesting. Instead, it was final wave mecha. Or excuse me, I have to do this. Final wave.
You know, Eva, you love Gokaiers a lot.
Yeah, okay. No, because it's memorable. That's the difference. It's memorable. But
Yes,
anyways,
it is.
yeah. So anyways, so if Grateful Phoenix had been released as a final wave, or had been released as a second wave, where or even as a first wave robot, where it like actually carries all the Kirame vehicles or whatever, where it carries them out to the battlefield, that's fine. That works. But as a final wave robo, why? There's no reason for it. Even if it was like we're going to carry these to the other side of the planet, or we're going to carry them to another world or something like that, there's no reason for that to exist because the Kirame stones could do that all by themselves already. That's why I didn't like it. It's because like it didn't bring anything to the table that hadn't already been done by all the others. You had a train, you had a construction vehicle, you had these magical stones that are all vehicles all by themselves. There's no reason for Grateful Phoenix to exist. Sorry, I'm ranting there a little bit.
Yeah, I think the only reason for the Phoenix. Oh my gosh, I'm not good with the names.
It's a Phoenix.
The last Kira, yeah, Phoenix. So the only reason there was on one episode that the stones were damaged, so they need to be carried away to a different place. In that way, the evil guy doesn't destroy them. That was the only time they actually use it that I can remember.
That is so stupid.
Yeah, so you can just do it on the toy form because they did it on the TV show once.
Yeah. Well, that's right up there with what was it called? Go Go Trailer from Bokinger. Go-Go trailer appeared one time in the teaser for the first episode of Bokinger, and you never saw it ever again. One episode, just for like a minute, if that, and then they immediately transform it to the individual forms. You never see it again. The only other time you saw it during the run of Bokinger was in the opening credits. That's the only time you saw it.
Hmm, that's really
It's,
weird because
it
I think I remember seeing it on a different series, like on Power Rangers Operation Overdrive. I think I remember seeing it a couple times.
they
Maybe they
probably
were just
they probably
reusing the same.
yeah, they just reuse the footage over and over.
I'm just gonna say I just appreciate they actually included on the toy because it's actually fun to transform it into that form.
Yeah, according to the wiki, this form is exclusive to Bokinger Episode 1.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Operation Overdrive just start reusing it over and over again.
Yeah, I can understand why. Of course, if you tried to make a Go-Go trailer or whatever it was with the Power Rangers version, I am so sorry, dude.
Yeah, no, I will never wanted to get the Power Rangers version of that mecha. It's oh my gosh, it's like they didn't even try.
Oh, they tried. They just failed miserably. There's a whole story behind that thing, but I won't get into it here. I think there's options for oh, hello. I'm starting to put pieces together in terms of how things transform. I think the red or the god quagga is not going to transform very much. The heads, basically the back of the quagga, or I'm sorry, the top of the quagga is going to be the back of King-Ohger, and that's pretty much it. Um,
I think blue is only gonna be wings.
I think the legs will flip around 180 degrees so that the which one is it the Tonbo, the god Tonbo's, the dragonfly, can attach its wings to the back. I think that because there's very obviously a shoulder rotation joint on the Quagga, and that's
You
going to
know,
be
you know,
good.
there's one thing I just hope they don't do here, which I'm just assuming they're not. I don't know if you remember in Kero Major where they literally didn't make the five individual mechas to combine. What they did was like they took the Blue Ranger mecha and make it just a sword.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I
Uh,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just hope they don't do that with the Purple Ranger because I'm seeing the kind of butterfly on the sword.
Oh yeah, you're. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the picture's small enough at this point. It's difficult to tell. Um, yeah, that may very well be the case. Well, here's the thing though. We've also got. I think, like I said earlier, I'm thinking out loud here at this point. Like I said earlier, I think that we're going to have accessory mecha or accessory sets, and each of those sets is going to have like 4 or 5 bugs inside of it. Okay, and then each of those bugs will change the types of weapons that are available to it. Now, I remember earlier reading that the individual ogres are going to have different weapons. Okay, they're called the king's weapons, which is those swords, but we haven't seen them. There aren't any pictures here that show that off yet. I don't think. Let me see.
So there's one thing I have to say.
Hmm.
This is the first time in a long time that I'm actually excited for a mecha. Like this mecha, it looks so cool to me. I haven't seen a mecha this cool since let's see.
Last year, actually, actually this year. I mean,
I mean, yeah,
because
you're
there's
right, you're
done
right.
to me. I know exactly what you're talking about, or maybe I should let you finish before I go on to mine.
No, you're right, you're right. Yeah, I was forgetting about Onitaji. No, yeah, Onitaji was yeah, really cool. And this one, it kept the same sequence. But I was so disappointed with, even though I like the Kira Majors mecha, I was so disappointed the first time I saw it. I just basically got used to it and started liking after I got the toy.
Hmm. Um, I wasn't opposed to the still have mine. It's not Kira Mazin. Um, when I first saw it, I wasn't upset with it necessarily. It wasn't until I like actually got it in my hands when I realized, okay, this is really weird, and I made a video talking about such. Um, let's see. I think the last time, not including Don Onitaijin, which oh god, I need to get my hands on one of those so bad. Um, Don Onitaijin is technically the last time where I like needed to get a Super Sentai Robo. Okay, um, but then before that, it actually been a while. It's been quite a while where I like needed to get a Robo. I think the two Kaisers from Lupin Ranger versus Pat Ranger. That was one where I was like, yeah, I need to get my hands on that thing. That was pretty doggone neat. The last time where I felt that like deep in my heart I need to get my hands on this thing, probably Shinken O,
Oh yes, Shinkano
and
was
that's
really good.
2009. Yeah, that was one where I was like, oh my god, they have symbols and they change into actual fucking origami.
Sadly, they didn't keep doing that with the mechas that were coming.
Oh, I could go for a whole hour about how they botched the origami. Do not get me started. It was
I don't
literally that was. I'm not even kidding when I say this. That was literally the end of my career at Collection DX. I was so fucking disappointed with the origami that I literally walked away from it. I walked away from reviewing. You want to know why I left, folks? That's why I left.
know. And then they came with Ghost Sager.
Oh god.
That was what it ended all for you.
Well, no. Go Kaiser was on the no. Go Kaiser was the last year that I did reviewing for Collection DX. So that was 11 years ago at this point. God damn. So yeah. Um, but yeah. Anyways, like Shinkano is still one of my top favorite first wave robos. I need to do a top five, top 10 list of favorite robos at some point here. Because this is the 47th anniversary. There's certainly plenty of them. Um,
Hey, I'm noticing something
mhm.
on this King-Ohger yeah, King-Ohger mecha, whatever. So I'm thinking the parts that form the hands,
Mhm.
they're on bug mode or uh ladybug mode. I don't know. I think it's a ladybug.
Yeah, those are ladybugs.
They're gonna be always showing the hand,
Yeah,
what it looks like,
yeah.
which I'm not a big fan of that. I wish they could make it like you can pop it inside.
I think what's going to happen is the insect's head is going to flip down, and then there's going to be a joint attachment point right there, and you just pop it in.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I would guess. But also, don't forget, I think a lot of these are going to have wheels instead of legs. So those are probably going to be wheels on the bottom there. Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Something else that I did notice though is I'm trying to figure out where the biceps come from. Where are the arms coming from? I do not think. Well,
Maybe they hide inside the God Kuwaga. Is the name again? Kuwaga, yeah,
maybe.
Kuwaga.
The reason I'm questioning that is because God Kuaga's front two legs form or are part of the wings on the backpack. So the dragonfly attaches to the back, and then Kuaga's legs peg into those wings. That's what those silver structures are on the front of it. Okay,
Okay.
so that's what that is. All right, so, and that's why I said earlier what the I'll say shoulder joint of the two front legs there that actually flips around 180 degrees. Okay. Now, what I have not been able to figure out is where the back two legs go, where those disappear off to. That I have not figured out. I can't see it with a stunt suit. I don't know. Might become part of the legs, but I seriously doubt that. Oh, there's a difference between the thighs on King-Ohger. The right thigh has a red panel on it, but the left thigh does not.
Wait, let me go back and see.
Look at King
Where's the
Oger's
picture?
legs. Or I'm
Oh
sorry, look at
yeah,
King-Ohja's thighs.
yeah, I'm seeing it. Hmm.
That's deliberate. That's deliberate in the same way that the horns are asymmetrical as well.
That's actually cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're consistent,
Yeah.
and I think it has like this little wings in in the back. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I see those. Yeah, that's the shell for the Kawaga that's split apart.
Hmm.
Oh, you know. Oh, okay. I just found out what happened to the. Okay, let's see if that's true. I just figured out what happens to the those larger two back legs on the Kawaga. Those form the arms
Huh?
because if you look at the back left foot of the Kawaga, you see there's a black joint right there. You see where the gray is? There's a joint right there. I love and hate how they keep toy details in the shooting models here. By the way, this is not CGI. This is a model. Um, that back left foot is going to curl backwards. Okay, then the entire back leg assembly, all the black stuff there, I think that becomes the bicep for the arms, and then the beetles or the I'm sorry the ladybugs attached to that. So that red thing that you're seeing there at the back end of the back legs, that red thing is a connection point for the forearms.
Actually, I think that's a really smart move. 'Cause imagine having like a hole on the sides of the mecha. That wouldn't be that great.
And it also here's the interesting part, and I've been puzzling about this for the last few minutes. Just because of what Don Onitaijin brought to the table, well, this year, or I'll say last year at this point, because of what Don Onitaiji did with posability, there's a strong possibility of the hips and knees being fully posable. And because of how those back legs on Kawaga transform, I think this is going to be a fully articulated figure again, just like Don Onitaijin. I'm calling it right now.
Yes.
I think this is fully articulated in King-Ohger form.
Hey, I just noticed now that I'm seeing the Blue Rangers mecha, the Dragonfly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming yeah, it is what's gonna happen. So it's basically gonna do the same thing that happened with Kiji Brother, the Pink Ranger,
Mm-hmm.
where the tail became like the sword.
Yes.
I think
Yeah,
that's
I knew that.
basically what's gonna be happening here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't notice that until now.
Yeah, because it. I think that's a. What do they call it? The pill bug or something like that? Let's see. God ant. That's actually an ant, is what we're seeing. There's this little black thing. It's called an ant. So the ant forms. And that's what I was trying to tell you earlier. Um, I think that Papillion is going to be the handle for the sword. Okay, but remember how I said earlier that there's going to be accessory mecha later on. They're going to swap out the chest, the front of the pelvis, the two arms as well. Well, the fifth bug that's going to appear in those accessory sets that we have not seen yet, okay? And this, again, this is guessing, okay? The fifth insect is going to attach to the front of Papillion, and that's going to be I'll call it a mounting, or no, I'm sorry, I'll call it an adapter piece. And I think that King-Ohger is going to have a bunch of different weapons. Papillion will always be the handle of the weapon, regardless of what that weapon is. The tail for the dragonfly, that may very well get stored on the back, so it'll move it out of the way. But I think that Papillion is going to be the handle for a bunch of different weapons later down the line. That's my guess. And that black ant, or god ant, what the name by the way, god ant, is actually going to be swapped out for a different mecha at some point to become a different weapon. So the default for King-Ohger will be a sword with Papillion on the front. The next accessory set is going to be a completely different weapon.
Actually, I really like that idea. Uh, it will make it really simple for them to make the mecha look different by not actually changing that much. I
Hmm.
don't know if you know what I'm trying to say.
No, yeah, I understand it. Now, the sacrifice, and yes, there will be a sacrifice here. The sacrifice is that how these five accessory bugs transform, there's no transformation. None. Okay? The five that we see here, they do not transform in the slightest. Okay? So, the accessory mecha are going to be, again, they're just going to be like headers from Ghost Sage. Okay? It's the same thing. Okay? So these are going to be very simple. Even the spiders, they do not transform. They just peg on and that's it. The only thing that transforms that I can tell is the two ladybugs, and that's only to cover the combination joint. That's it. Okay. So I do think that the five, I forgot the names of them, the shoe gods, the five totem animals or whatever it is, those will transform. But the accessory bugs or whatever it is, those will not transform. At least not that I can tell from this one picture.
I think the Purple Ranger, uh, his slash her sword, I think it's just gonna be an attachment for the sword.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, okay, yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, that one will probably not transform very much either. The dragonfly, I'm guessing that. Oh, by the way, the dragonfly's wings are different. If you look at the back view of King-Ohja, the pattern on the wings is different.
It is. Let me see.
Yep.
I wanted to share more pictures that I found that they're sharing on Twitter.
Oh,
Uh,
go ahead.
let's see if I can just log in that
Maybe there's new
account.
stuff since we. Oops. Maybe there's new stuff since we started this.
They are. It's just I haven't seen any toy pictures. Jesus Christ, what is it? Oh, okay, okay. I can see that one part of the wings is larger than the other. Like the left side is larger. That's weird. Why will they do that?
Say that again.
Why will the left wings are larger than the right wings?
I think that's just a proportion issue because the I mean this is a photograph of a magazine and it's curled.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's why.
Let me see if I can just.
It would be I would be genuinely stunned if they were asymmetrically sized. I that would I wouldn't know what to do with that. Oh, these are even more pictures here. Ooh, there's the very first picture here on this Twitter, which I'll link in the description. Yeah, that castle is a transformer. Fight me. That that castle is a transformer.
It has to be actually,
It has to be.
because if not, it will be sad.
No, no. There's very obvious joints, and no. That is a transformer. I'm not gonna budge on that. I will
Wait, this is.
notice. I will
No, I'm sorry.
notice. I will notice in the background of that same picture, right next to the castle, there's a bunch of pods or something like that. If I had to guess, I'd say that's a an accessory set where you can like store the bugs. It's kind of like the hanger or whatever it is for the Kirame stones. Remember, you turn them into stone mode, and then you can store them on this little platforms.
Oh yeah, I think they sold it separately.
Yeah,
They only include this accessory shield mech. I think it was.
yeah. I think that in the background there, I don't think that's there. Just I don't think that's just like a decoration. I think that's an actual. That looks like something that pods or a nest or what's the word yeah, a nest of some kind. That's where all the bugs are going to hang out. Oh yeah, Kawaga. Oh yeah, I'm convinced. Yeah. Oh wait a minute. Oh, I was wrong. Wait a minute. Oh, I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. Okay, so the two yeah, what are those called? The two Ladybugs. The two ladybugs are hollow. They do not have fists on them. I was mistaken about that. The fists are actually on the back of King-Ohja's back legs. That's what those red things are. The red things on the back of King-Ohja's legs are actually fists. The reason they
Wait,
don't
really?
look, yeah, because that's what the red things are. Because like just the idea of having like a sleeve of red, that doesn't make sense. But if that's an actual fist on the back there, that does make sense. The gray foot is just hiding
Oh,
it.
that looks really cool. Now I understand. So basically, the ladybugs just slide in just to
Exactly.
cover that. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
that's really nice.
Or they'll just kind of
Oh,
fly on and attach.
whatever they do, I'm just happy we're not gonna be seeing those fits just being there.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't want to see another Duran problem again.
Oh, oh, don't get me started, please. Oh, these Twitter pictures also have we have pictures of Hatchie and Papillion too. Yeah, those definitely transform. I'm pleased with that.
Let's see. I saw another picture of the mecha. Okay, here it
Oh
is.
yes, yes, it is the King's sword or whatever it is. It is a multi-mode weapon. Okay,
There
so
you go.
oh
Share
more
a picture. I'm sorry.
more more
Oh
I
wait.
say.
Oh my gosh! So you can basically attach the box on the toy sword, like the sword that the actual Rangers use.
Oh, that's it. The sword is their henshin device and it's their summoning device.
I think I have
Ooh,
here their henshin device is gonna be like kind of like smartphones that goes on their buckles.
God, I hope not. I'm so sick and fucking tired of smartphones.
I think they were saying that was leak. I don't know. I was just reading that on a Facebook page.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the costumes that closely, but God, I hope not. I don't think so. That oh God, I think they are. There's a spot for a camera on the cell phone. Ah,
Yep, they were saying like they were gonna be smartphones and they will transform with that.
fucking smartphones. Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, I can tell you right now, I'm getting the King's sword. That is a guarantee at this point.
It is pretty cool actually.
I am getting the King's sword. That is a sale. Okay, so the King. Oh, let's see.
I'm I'm just so surprised how this new Sentai season doesn't look like a Sentai. It, it looks like a freaking Kamen Rider, and I just love it.
Oh, there's the scythe mode. Wow. So it looks like the King's sword is actually made up of two parts. They're probably sold separately, would be my guess. So you've got the sword itself, okay, and then you have so the reason it's called the King's sword is because it's actually a gun, and the gun has a bunch of moving parts on it, and you attach the gun to the sword. Ooh, I'm getting both of those. Yes. Yeah, I can see the shield. I can see the claw. I can see a sword. I can see a bow. That's actually kind of a weak bow, and the scythe. That's pretty fucking stupid. But no, that's a sale right there. Oh God, it reminds me of Masterhead from Ghost Sager. Why does this remind me so much of Ghost Sager? What is going on here? I almost feel like it's the same people working on it.
I don't know because if you remember at the beginning of the video, I was just telling you uh, the logo kind of reminds me to Sager, and now a lot of stuff are actually reminding me to
Yeah.
Sager.
Wow. Wow. And there's no white on any of the Ranger suits. It's silver. It's not white.
I guess if the people who were working on Sager, I guess this is a way of saying sorry to you.
Uh, yeah. Apology accepted. Wait, do they attach to? Oh, so the king's sword is is held in the right hand, and then the whatever that combiner weapon is on the left arm, kind of. Okay, if that's a scythe, that's a pretty bad scythe. I do not like that. No. It's pretty fucking weak. Freaking ladybugs are completely hollow. It's just an empty shell and they attach to the top.
Well, at least we know the Sentai like to do hollow stuff.
Yeah, don't make a habit of it, Bandai, please.
Yeah, I just hope they don't do that because we
There's a significant amount of purple on the around the collar and the back of the head of King-Ohger. Where's that purple coming from?
purple on
Yeah.
the head. Let me see. I need a. Meaning the back of the head, or
Back of the head and the collar. There's purple. I'm trying to figure out where it comes from. Maybe from the papillion?
the dragonfly.
No, dragonfly's blue. Papillion has purple on it.
Okay, never mind. Let's see.
Maybe papillion forms the head. Maybe?
But then where does the red part comes
Right.
in?
Well, I
Or
mean,
maybe it's attached from the back. You know what I mean? Like kind of like King-Ohja, where each mecha form like half of
Zenkaiger.
the mask, I will say, or the helmet, really, because the face was already complete, anyways.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I'm not seeing any indication of where the helmet comes from. Yeah, I don't know where the helmet comes from. That's strange. Because looking at the helmet of or the head of King-Ohger, those horns are red on one side, but then they're silver on the opposite side. Where's the head come from? It's not the dragonfly's head. I don't think it's the God Quagga's body. I don't know where that comes from.
Why are the costume giving me this vibe from Geki Ranger costume?
Well, Geki Ranger was pretty unique at the time. They looked like pajamas. They didn't have belts, which threw a lot of people off. But I mean, yeah, it does. It did make sense at the time.
I don't know, but I mean in the meaning of not having so much detail. You know what I mean? Like everything is just one color.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. That doesn't bother me.
I think they did something similar with Kira Major. I think. Yes, I think they did that with Kira Major.
Mm, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that could make a difference or not. Ooh, this is good stuff. Check out this is good. This is good shit right here. This is good shit.
Which one? The last picture or the first one?
All of it. I mean, I'm all of it. The only thing I'm concerned
Oh,
about right now is this. I mean, I don't care about the costumes. That doesn't bother me. Whatever. But the only thing I'm worried about is the king's sword and the well, actually the two. What their freaking henshin device is going to look like. Um, yeah, I think the role play is a little questionable, but the mecha. Oh yeah, I'm going to be all over that. All over that.
same here. I'm just waiting for the toys to come out. I just want to see how they actually gonna transform. I mean, I think I have an idea of how it's gonna be, but I just like to wait until they actually release the toys.
Well, I've pretty much figured out how Koaga transforms at this point. There's not going to be any big surprises for me there. I will be genuinely surprised if King-Ohger does not have posable limbs the same way as. Oh, that's why.
What exactly?
Well, it's kind of puzzling to me why the ladybugs would be hollow, and it just occurred to me the reason they're hollow is because Bandai needed space for the articulating joints for the arms. That's why they're hollow. That's why the legs are these giant. The back legs of Quagga are so blocky. Now you can't see. Now these are not toys. This is a studio model, so proportionately, it's not going to be the same thing. So I'm guessing that the legs, the actual God Quagga in the toy, I think that the gray legs are actually going to be very small. The black legs in the back are going to be very big. Okay, they'll have to be at least as big as those thighs that are there. And they've gone out of their way to put the detail of knees and hips right there. I think this thing is going to be as articulated as Don Oni Taijin.
I hope
Um,
you're right, because imagine having really skinny arms.
no, they're not. No, they're not going to be skinny. I'm because you have to think about it. The way that things are proportioned here. No, they're not going to be skinny. They would need to be because that's why the beetle or that's why the ladybugs are included. The ladybugs make the forearms bigger deliberately. But then a different insect in the net in an accessory set a different will have a different so like the fists will always be red on King-Ohger, but the forearms will be a different color.
You know, I just find so weird, even though you mentioned this at the beginning,
Mhm.
I just found so weird that they waited so long just to do a team bug. Like, why couldn't you do it back then? Like, you kind of wanted to do that with Hurricane Year. Why couldn't you do it on the next season?
I don't why they didn't do a what with a what.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to say why they didn't do like a team bug on next season after Hurricane Year, because with the two Rangers, I forget their names. They
Go
only have like
Rangers.
bugs. Yeah, the Go Rangers. They have like bugs team mechas.
Mm-hmm.
So that was basically telling the to the people or to the viewer, whatever, that they wanted to do a team bug season, but for some reason they didn't want it to. I mean, they didn't do it.
Oh, well, yeah, I kind of know what you're talking about, except that they didn't use Gorajin, the basic two Robos, which was Goray Beetle and Goray Stag. I've got it in front of me here, so I can say it now. Goray Beetle and Goray Stag. Yeah, those were beetles, but then all the weapons that it used later on were not. Um, so you had the plant axe. I never understood why it was called plant axe. That's so strange. So plant axe was an owl. Strange as that sounds, it was an owl. Okay, and then you had the kabuto spear, which was a horseshoe crab. Well, they call it a kabuto, but it's actually a horseshoe. And those were the only two the only two Karakuri weapons that were no, I'm sorry, Karakuri. Yeah, Karakuri weapons that were associated with Goragian. So the idea of it having nothing but insects, no, I don't. I don't think so. I don't. Actually, I'm not entirely certain why they went that way, but I haven't thought too much about it. I'll be honest. Even though it's 20 years later, 21 years later. Um, if you're asking why insects have not been used since Hurricane Year, I hesitate to say engineering. I don't think so.
Or maybe they weren't that popular back then. I'm just assuming.
Oh no, because Pokemon. Because
Oh
Digimon.
yes.
No, that's no excuse. There's no way. Now, I can tell you exactly. For example, and I recently came there's two things. One, I can tell you exactly why they went with Magi Ranger in 2005. They did that because of the three series that they had. Or no, I'm sorry, the three American movie franchises that were all coming out at the same time. You had Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, which was ending the prequel trilogy, okay? Then you had The Lord of the Rings Return of the King. It was finishing that same year, okay? And that was a huge thing. And then you had Harry Potter, the first Harry Potter movie, coming out around the same time. So that's why Magi Ranger existed when it did, okay? Bokinger, that existed because anniversary and, going on an adventure, you know. But then here's the creepy part, okay? Something really, and I actually came up with this theory recently. We're going a little off topic here, but something interesting happened in 2006. In 2006, no, let me back up. You have to understand how Super Sentai operates. Super Sentai basically operates on a 2 year cycle. It takes 2 years from the word go to come up with a concept, to get approval for designs, to get the trademarks, to get the shows filmed and everything. It takes 2 years. All right, or that entire process from when they start thinking about a new series to when it hits the air. That's a 2 year period. Okay. Well, with this 2 year cycle in mind, it's not 1 year, but it's 2 years. With this 2 year cycle in mind, Magi Ranger was influenced by, as I just said, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter. Okay, all three of those are present there. You could smell it all over that show, which is wonderful, by the way. The following year, 2006, there was a very very big surprise movie that came out in America in 2006, and I think that had a direct influence on what would come out in 2008 for Engine Sentai Go-Onger. What are the mecha? Let me check up. Let me ask you something. What are the mecha for Go-Onger? What are they?
Go Wander. You're talking about like what specific animals are there,
No,
or
no, just in general. What are they? What is unique about Go-Onger's mecha line?
they have eyes?
They have eyes. Yeah. What else?
I think it's the first time. I think, if I'm not wrong, the first time when they're trying to combine vehicles with animals.
Um.
I think maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it kind of been an implication before then, but you're not wrong about that. I think that was the first time where they like, okay, here's a modern day vehicle, and we're going to slap the head of an animal on them. So, okay, yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, okay. It was also the first time where they actually did a deliberate attempt to get the role play toys to interact with the DX mecha. That was the first time where you could have one and it could talk to the other. Okay, they'd never done that before. But anyways, the answer I'm looking for is they were vehicles that had faces on the front. Check up. Can you think of any American made movies in 2006 that had vehicles with faces on the front of them? Really popular movie.
Cars from Pixar.
Pixar's Cars. You got it in one. I think that Cars was this huge thing that came out of nowhere, and it directly influenced the creation of Engine Sentai Go-Onger. I don't. That you want to call it conspiracy theory? Go ahead. I think that's exactly where Go-Onger came from. All you have to do is you have to kind of tokusatsu it up. You got to add a team of 3 or 5 or whatever it is. You got to throw some animals in there. You got to add some weapons in there. I think that's exactly where Engine Sentai Go-Onger came from.
Could you explain to me why is it so expensive to get a Go on your Mecha right now, even though it released a lot of copies and it's not like they're that old?
I have no idea. The only one I don't have is Kyoretsuo. I mean, I still to this day, I still don't have a Kyoretsuo. I'm not interested in Kyoretsuo when it's combined. I'm not interested in Kishimath and T line and K line, and I'm also not interested in Engine G12. So yeah, I can't answer that one for you.
Because
Yeah.
I wanted to get the Galaxy Mega spaceship, I think it is. Like the main Mecha.
Hmm.
But getting it in good condition right now is so damn expensive. I think I'm just gonna wait until Hasbro release their Project Ascension Galaxy Mega.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. It's called the ZAP, the Zord Ascension Project. That's what it's called. Yeah, I'm going to be all over that thing because Astro Megaship, Astro Megazord is one of my favorite robos of not just Super Sentai, but of like all time. It's one of my cornerstone mecha ever. So yeah, I'm going to be all over that Zap Astro Megazord when it comes out.
I,
And I hope, I pray, I wish, I whatever to whatever god you believe in that they come up with a Delta Megazord to go along with it. I hope. I
Oh
hope. I hope. I
yes.
hope.
Oh yes. That's what I was hoping actually. I just hope they actually release the Delta Megazord and Dyron O.
Oh yeah.
And I have Dyron O actually, the original '90s one.
Uh,
And I'm pretty happy with the copy.
mm-hmm. Okay, so according to JE Fusion, their henshin device is the sword. It's called the Ohja caliber, a sword used to transform into a King-Ohger, bearing the proof that one quote bearing the proof that one is a ruler. Oh, so King's weapon is the shield. Okay, so the oh, it's actually called the henshin, or no, the Ohja caliber is the sword. So the sword is their henshin device. Okay, so oh, thank God, no cell phones. Thank God. I don't know what
Hey,
the belts are, but no, they're not. I mean, maybe they are cell phones. I don't know. That's possible, but
I, I don't know if you noticed, but on the right side of the on the chest, they have these logos, and each ranger has their own individual logo, which is
yeah,
really
that was
nice.
pointed out on the Twitter page that you sent me, as well as on JE Fusion. Yeah, they both noticed that. Yeah. Now, JE Fusion, their article it says, quote, from other sources, we know that a Spider Ranger is also coming, and thanks to these toy leaks, we know there is a Silver Stag, could potentially be another similar type of beetle as well. I don't know about that. I I seriously doubt they would have a ranger for each mecha. That
Yeah, no,
I don't know about that. Let me think. The only time where like individual rangers, there was a ranger for every single mecha. First one I can think of is Q Ranger, because there were 12 rangers and there were 13 mecha. No, 14 mecha. There were 14, 15 mecha. There were 15 because there was the little lion. I can't think of what it's called. There was the Orion Battler, which was owned by the Red Ranger, or Shishi Red Orion. Orion. And then there was the Kerberos Voyager. But that one was not owned by anybody. It was sentient all by itself, I think. Yeah, if and all of these pictures have not indicated to me that there's going to be one ranger per mecha. That's crazy talk.
something I'm glad they're gonna be doing, or that's what it looks like they're gonna be doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like finally, in a long time, the mechas are gonna be machines, what they're supposed to be. I mean, tools. You know what I mean? Because on the past like 3 4 years, yeah, like 3 years, yeah, no, the past, yeah, I think the past 5 years, they just been having these mechas that are all they're alive basically. That's what I'm trying to say. They have
Oh,
conscience.
they're sentient mecha.
Yeah, sentient mecha. That's the word. Yes.
Well, Dawn Brothers, the mecha are the rangers themselves.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm gonna be honest. I never liked the idea of the Rangers being the Omega. That's on me. I never liked that idea. But again, I'm not against it.
I think if they use it sparingly, it can work. Because again, Magi Ranger was the first time they did that. They magically transform into the mecha themselves. There were some exceptions later on, but whatever.
I thought Kaku Ranger was the first one. I thought.
Oh, which one?
I'm wrong. Kaku Ranger.
Kaku
Alien,
Ranger.
Alien
Yes, I'm sorry.
Ranger.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, they do. I am sorry. You are correct. Yeah, it was
And
the
the
Muteki Shogun.
Tower.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
Muteki
Beast General
Shogun.
Fighters. Yep, you were right about that. Yeah, that was the first time they did that. Yeah. So it was Kaku Ranger, and
I mean, they
then
were remote. They were controlling it remotely. But
no. Do not be confused by what Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers did. It's not the same thing. It was not the same thing.
okay. By that you mean like, let's say the ranger is not on the battle, and the other rangers need the mecha. They can still call that mecha.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They might do that again at some point, but I think even somebody like me would say, well, how do they combine with each other? I don't
That's
know.
just my negative imagination. I'm sorry.
No, no, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, if you think about it, they did exactly the same thing in Abba Danger, where it was early on. Which, by the way, I do have. By the way, Abba Danger just came out on DVD a month ago, and I have it from Shout Factory. Thank you very much. And goddamn, Deca Ranger was announced this month. Ah, yes. But anyways, in Abba Danger, the Abareno was able to combine without a body yellow for one time, and it was still able to function. Now it didn't look the same, but it did function the same.
Uh, Now, oh my gosh, now Deca Rangers opening is stuck in my head.
Yes.
I need to get. I forgot what is the name of this mecha. The Ava Ranger mecha, the main one.
Abareno.
Aberno. I need to get that mecha. I always
Oh yeah.
loved it since I was a kid.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of the other ones. I just love that one.
It took me a while to grow. Or it took a while for Killer O, or the Dino Stegazord. What the heck kind of name is that? It took a while for the Killer O to grow on me, but eventually it did.
I'm thinking about getting those just for the combination, like the really funny combination: a robot with jet, with wings and skateboard
Oh
or
sure, yeah.
surfboard, however you want to call it.
Yep.
Which they actually did something similar in the Ninjas.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Whatever the purple one is called. That's the only other one that I've ever wanted. Because the only one I have is UFO Maru. That's the only one I've got. Oh, Surfer Maru. That's what he's called.
I actually like UFO. Yeah, the UFO one because it kind of reminds me to the Galaxy Mega.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like even the legs transform the same way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh God, you're right. It does. God, I didn't even think of that. Good call. He found out 6 years later.
Maybe they were
Oh.
making some. What is the word they use when they're trying commemorate? Commemorate, yeah, I think to commemorate Mega Rangers. Maybe they were doing that because I
That's
think
possible. Yeah.
they use the ninja as a damn it. Now words are not coming to my mind right now. Like a special a way to celebrate Sentai. That's the only thing I can say right now.
No, that's not what Ninja was doing. It was not an anniversary series. No, the point of the mecha for Ninja was that they represented different aspects of Japanese culture and progression. So, Ufomaru was a representation of science fiction and fantasy, or no, just science fiction. So,
Oh, okay.
just in general, it was a spaceship and stuff like that. And then you have the dragon, which is fantasy. You had the little dog. Oh, what were you called? The little white dog represented the cute or the kawaii.
Inu, Inu, I think is how they call dog in Japanese.
No, not Inomaru. That doesn't sound right.
Oh no, Okami for wolf. I think it was a wolf.
No, no, it was a dog. It was an actual dog because it has a little bandana, a little silver bandana around its neck.
I don't know. Inu Brothers is what's coming to my mind right now from
I know,
Dumb
but that's
Brothers.
not. Yeah, that's not it. Wan Maru, Wan, because Wan is the sound of a
Yes.
dog barking. Dog barking goes Wan Wan Wan.
Maru.
Yeah. So and then Bune Maru was the train, which
The
is
train, yeah.
technology and transportation. Dump Maru is construction vehicle. Shinobi Maru is just humans.
Humans.
Well, yeah.
And what about the dragon?
That's fantasy.
Oh, I thought that was. I thought
Fantasy
you
and
were
fiction.
mentioning. I thought you were mentioning that with UFO Maru.
No, UFO Maru is science fiction. Is a true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. Never mind. Okay, I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
confused
So,
those
so
two.
yeah. So each of those is a each of the accessory vehicles. They're a representation of some aspect of Japanese culture, and that was deliberate. Paon Maru, which was the elephant, the green elephant, that was just animals.
So,
Trideron, Otoman and
so this,
Trideron. What?
so the purple one represents summer, summer break.
Surfer represents. Let me dig. I've got it in front of me here. Might be travel on water or something like that.
Do you know the big lion, the one that lets all the mecha combine, or at least
That
quote
thing, yeah.
unquote? Yeah, the lion. I'm not a big fan of the lion.
No one is.
Yeah, it's Senkai. The reason why I bought all the mechas was because when I was watching the series, I was liking the mechas while watching the series. But when the thing was done, I was like, why did I spend my money on this?
Yeah.
And the only mech I regret buying was Tukayo. That's the only mech I regret buying.
Yeah, and that's the reason I didn't buy it from you. So yeah.
Yeah. It's so simplistic and not in a good way, I have to say it.
No, it's not.
Because Sentai has previously done really simple mechas in a good way. Let me see
Yep.
which example. Them at the Kishi, no, not Kishiryu. I think it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
the main mecha, like the Red Ranger mecha.
Yeah, from Ryu
It's pretty
Soldier.
simple. No, 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 not Real Soldiers. Uh, the one where they're on space that we were even talking about that Power Rangers is gonna be using it for the 30th anniversary.
Oh, Q Ranger. Kurino.
Yes, Q Ranger. Yeah, Q no, the Red Ranger mecha.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty simplistic, but in a good way, I have to say it.
Well, the reason it's simple is, quite frankly, is to serve the electronic feature because you had to get the lights, you had to get the LEDs into the shoulders and into the knees. You can't really put wires in movable joints. That's too way too difficult.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just happy in Dumb Brothers, and I'm assuming King-Ohger, they're learning their mistakes or the lesson. I mean, of not putting freaking electronics inside of the mecha. If you want to make the transformation sequence, put it on the sword slash weapon,
Yeah, yeah.
like how they did with Dumb Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
The only toy or slash mecha or accessory mecha where they included that on Dumb Brothers was with the Gold Phoenix,
Yeah.
which I actually accepted. It doesn't really make the toy suffer from head syndrome. I'm talking to you, Ram.
Yeah, yeah.
I literally removed the batteries
Oh yeah.
on my Senkai toys. I couldn't even touch the thing. The thing will just start. Din, 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 din. I was like, no, I just want to play with you. I don't want to hear the noise. I don't care about the transformation noise right now.
Yep. And that's the only reason why those electronics exist is for the transformation. That was supposed to be the gimmick. Was it's like you're getting you're part of the transformation, and the sound effects make you part of the transformation process. And I'm like, no, that's not worth it. You want me to be part of the transformation process? Don't put a fucking electronics block right smack in the middle, so you end up with visible head
Yep,
syndrome.
yep. The only time where they did it right was with Deca Ranger.
How's that?
I know, because they only put electronics on the Red Ranger.
Oh, that's nothing new.
Yeah, they just like you have all these quote unquote police lights that doesn't do anything. They're just there. The only lights that light up are from the Red Ranger, which
Well,
is
yeah,
disappointing.
and you know what? Kirino actually learned the lesson from Deca Ranger Robo, because Deca Ranger Robo, you had it in the chest, you had it in the shoulders, you had it in the knees, or you had it in the legs, but you did not have it in the arms. So even though it had them, they had little transparent red beacons or
Ooh.
whatever it is in the shoulders, they did not light up. So when it came time for them to do it again with Curino, that's why the transformation was so blocky, and that's why you've got those big blocks sticking out the other side of Shishi Voyager, is because like they needed to get the lights into the shoulders. They knew they needed those LEDs in there, so that's why they actually did it properly there. It's more awkward, but it worked a little better there.
True.
Okay. Gosh, we have gone on and on and on and on. Is there There's a lot of pictures we have to go through here, or I have to go through here and sort this out, and I have to get it done before tomorrow because I have work tomorrow, which is weird. Um,
So you're gonna be submitting this tomorrow or two
well,
days?
I'm hoping to get it done tonight, obviously. So I've got a lot of work and a lot of editing. Um, oh, this is so much. There's a lot of good happening here. There's a lot of good happening here. Um, I think I'm pretty much sold on everything that they've got here right now. And I don't think that the appearance of the toys is going to change my mind very much. Like there are no toys in everything we've seen here. There's no toys whatsoever. We've not seen toys. Um, let's see. I'm gonna double check just in case because
I'm
maybe
happy we
somebody's
were
missing
able
something.
to see all the individual mechas. I'm just happy on that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's
And
no no there's no updates right now. So we're
and
still good.
actually, it is pretty crazy seeing 10 individual mechas for the first time making or combining to form the main mecha. Because that's something that you expect for the final combination. Let's say Bokengers with Ultimate Iboken.
Well, we were talking about Gekiatsu Daio earlier. Remember?
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm. But that was only six.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's different. There were six, and also the six ranger was included. In this case, it's not, but still an accomplishment of having all these mechas just forming the main one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be excited for accessory mechas. Actually, I've never been this excited for accessory mechas.
Yeah. Now this is not the. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I was, and I'm going to disappoint a couple of people here, but I was never one of those people who like demanded we need all insects. I've never been that person. Like, yeah, I'm interested now that it's here, and what they've come up with is pretty doggone interesting. But that being said, I've never been somebody who was like strongly advocated for an all insect team. That's not to say that I hate it. It's just I was never somebody who advocated for it. But now that it's here, I like what I'm seeing so far. I think this will be a good the mecha at least will be a good combination of we'll have repaints and remolds that they can actually get away with because I mean let's be honest, a lot of insects do look kind of similar to each other. And I cannot anticipate. I have no idea right now what kind of insects they're going to have later on down the line. I just don't even ask me what they're going to do later. I have no clue. But I think it was an interesting way of introducing their transform or their combining gimmick by having those um, five smaller insects being part of the default first wave robo. That is an interesting choice. So we just know right off the bat what they're going to do.
Avarenja, Avaren, get on, Avarenja.
I think that's the signal for us to turn this recording off. Chekhov, thank
Yep,
you very much for coming in and talking with me about this. I hope you enjoyed this. I certainly did.
it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me in. I really enjoyed talking to you about this new Sentai series.
So serious. And yeah, you're welcome. Like I said, my previous crew were not available. This is a day and a half before Christmas 2022, so they're doing their own thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's my first time actually being invited in another channel, which I really appreciate it. And yeah,
So check out where can people find you when you're not here talking with me.
yes, I think YouTube is the best platform right now. So if you're interested on what I do, you can just visit my channel and watch my videos. I usually do unboxings or reviews.
All right. And so with that, this is AV Unit 4A saying thank you very much for tuning in, and Merry Christmas.